Hey everybody, welcome to Whack and Roll Vagabonds. My name is Luke, I'm your GM, and I'm a blue bird choking on a Pikachu.
Hi, my name's Tom. I play the half-elf Feywoman Saucelark.
Do you want to retry that, Hun?
Hi, my name's Tom. I play the half-elf sorcerer Feylark, and I can smell better than ever.
Hi, I'm Dora. I play Philippe, and the moment I knew I turned into a woman was when I turned my Legolas poster over to the Uruk-hai side.
And I'm Al. I used to love baking, and then vegans happened.
We're still in our little Caravan Sleepover arc. We've done all of our shopping and are leveling up, so what we are going to do now is individual character scenes, which we have discussed. We are going to start with Philippe.
Hello.
Hello, Philippe. So, Philippe, what is it that you're wanting to do on your little one-off adventure?
So he'll still be continuing the normal with the flyers for his aunt, but he will want to go to where the what's his name got the book from.
Where Findalego found the book.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
You're gonna go to Tayville?
Yes.
Damn.
So this is a now official little trip to Tayville. I think that you're not able to go unaccompanied in essence. I think there's generally a rule for most of the Caravan's businesses that they will say that you go in pairs at least. Who do you want to take with you?
Can I take Medi so we can go do a pub quiz while we're there?
You absolutely can. So I will say we'll say this is let's say this is about a month from our last recordings, our last episode there. During that time, another caravan, a little carriage, was sent off towards the desert, and when it came back, Samil brought with them a friendly brain in a vat and a little carriage, and also the ruins of a friend you murdered.
Oh.
Now, for the sake of this, I'll say we haven't quite got Tom a new body yet. Not you, Tom, but Tom.
Alright, don't
You know
need
what,
one.
Tom?
Surgery was a success.
And then, but however, Medi has been given a body of sorts. Now, Medi is a giant brain in a vat, which does make it quite difficult to give it a body, per se. So rather, what it has got is a spherical glass tank, where its tendrils have enough room to kind of move around, but the wires have now been attached to robotic spider-like legs, so 6 of them that kind of click out of the body. So it definitely does look like a monster in a video game.
It's the baby from Toy Story.
Yeah, I was imagining the baby from Toy Story,
Yes,
but
perfect.
with the vat that the heads are in Futurama kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like what we're looking at.
Yeah.
With brain.
Except no head, just brain.
Nice.
Yay.
So, so I guess what we'll say is, Medi's probably not allowed to go by themselves. So you also take Samil with you, I'll say, because Samil is more of a trusted member than the brain that you just brought back from the desert.
Fair.
While he's your friend, he's not exactly Harper J's friend yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys trundle a carriage along, and when you guys get to Tayville, Samil kind of says, "I've got business to do. I will meet you here tomorrow morning."
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Nice. And then they scamper off into the darkness. And I mean, they take off. They get on all of their 4 of their lizard-like legs, and then just scamper off into the shadows, leaving you and a giant brain mecha.
How is the city around you reacting to this?
They are definitely looking at you.
I'm gonna draw a smiley face on the tank, just so people know he's friendly.
Medi is very much like, "I like this."
Aw. That's
It is
nice.
your new face, at least for the time being.
I feel
Am
pretty.
I handsome?
You are very handsome.
Nice.
You've drawn a pair of cheekbones on it.
It's handsome
Yes.
Squidward is the face.
Yeah, that sort of over-exaggerated anime handsome
Senpai.
face.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Squidward, you
senpai
mean.
face.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
somebody.
Wow.
With a big old smile.
So
But yeah. So Findalego, did he say what cellar it was again, or did he just say the location? I can't remember.
It was good, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was good, sir. Oh, that.
The library.
Oh yeah, shit. Right, to the library.
To the library.
Back to the library. God damn.
I know, right? Is good sir on duty?
Absolutely, he is. The tiefling is very much kind of like just chilling at the desk. He looks bored out of his skull. He's just sort of sitting there twirling his like beautiful black hair. I think we said he had black hair. I don't remember a fucking thing about the description for good sir.
Nope. He could have dyed it.
He's dyed it black. If he didn't have black hair, you're entirely right. And he's just sort of like chilling there, like looking so bored. He's kind of watching one of the guys in the play, like a younger halfling man, just sort of like out the corner of his eye.
So Philippe is gonna waltz right up to the desk and go, hello, excuse me, good sir. I don't know if you remember me. We've met before.
I think he looks and goes, "Oh, it's you."
Was that his voice? Are we sure that was?
I don't remember anything.
No,
about the
that
NPCs
was the voice because it was just annoying.
Yeah, it was Maximilian Pegasus, 100%.
Oh, I don't remember your name, but I'm sure we've met.
Hello, my name is Philippe, and we have met since I know your name is good sir.
It's on my name tag.
I said it before you twirled around on your chair.
You can see it before I mention it.
And I cannot read.
This canon.
I think that good sir looks at you and goes like, the library probably isn't the best place for you then.
Well, I've come to ask...
Also, is your pet safe?
Oh, yes. Can't you see it by his friendly face?
I am safe.
Oh, that was I made it okay. That was a moment I was like...
Very similar tones.
Oh, no. Anyway, what can I do for you, child?
So, a friend of mine got a book from you, and I would like to know where you acquired it from. Philippe is just going to hand over the book.
I think when you hand the book over, like, he kind of looks at it for a second. He takes a moment to remember it, and then really shoves it under the desk really quickly and is like, you say a friend? Does that friend have a name?
His name is Findalego. He said he got it from you.
And he's like, shh.
What's wrong with me saying Findalego?
Shut the
Stop swearing at the child!
It's not very nice. All I'm saying is Findalego, that's it.
Oh my god, he's gonna throw the book at you. You say that again.
Roll to dodge.
He kind of like says like, just follow me and be cool for once. Be cool for once.
Okay, I will stop mentioning the name Findale.
I warned you. Please roll dexterity saving throw.
I was gonna say Medi
I
could
nat
cover
20.
my mouth. I nat 20'd.
Unbelievable.
Medi captures book telekinetically.
Absolutely, that's what happens. Philippe dives out the way, but the amazing shot of the amazing dexterous skills of good sir causes the book to bend in the air to follow. However, the psychic powers of the brain in the vat very much just go, I do not think so, and it just hovers in the air, and like it's a different book from like the friend for Philippe, and like it just suddenly ignites into sparks and disintegrates in the air, and he's like, I protect this child.
Thank you very much, Medi. I really appreciate it.
He like the brain kind of like the mechanical brain in the vat turns to face good sir and says, I have the power of a god. You should not fight me.
This is a big old flex of good sir. Like Philippe's just gonna be like pouting and trying to look tough, like yeah.
Good sir's like, oh fuck, and it's like, right, we kind of like fast forward a bit,
yep.
And you fall through to one of the back rooms in the library, It's very much a staff room. It's pretty shitty. Paint peeling off the walls. There's a couple of like really crappy motivational posters and like who's looking for an extra shift board kind of thing. A coffee pot that's half full and a little chipped, and a few mugs that no one's ever used in their life, because if you use a mug like that you just find in a work staff room, you're a monster.
Luke has a lot of opinions since finally finding employment.
I hate it. Thanks. And he, like, the room is empty. He just kind of sits down in a chair. He says, "You can't just go around mentioning him around these parts. I have a reputation to keep. I need this job, man. What are you, a cop?"
And what happened to your voice?
I thought it sounded quite similar, actually.
It's a front.
I'm trying, dude. You only have to do one. I have to do like 100.
And no, I'm not a cop. I'm just not a very smart boy.
Aww.
The Maddie kind of looks, says, "It's true. I can read his thoughts."
Very quickly.
I am sorry. Was this offensive?
No. It's true.
Okay, please answer any questions the boy asks, or I will crush you with my mind.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Oof.
Fiercely
Okay.
protective.
Good Sir's very like, oh god.
Maddie, don't worry. You can just turn it down a little bit. We don't want to scare this poor man.
I will crush your thighs with my mind.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay, so, good sir, where did you get this book from, then?
Give me a persuasion check, please. I'll give you advantage because you have a terrifying god on legs helping you. I need that one.
Oh,
Having a day.
ow, your dice that you get me is like the opposite of my cursed dice.
Nice.
On my first roll, I rolled a 20.
Hooray.
Oh
That's
god,
two
it keeps
pointers.
rolling all the way off my iPad.
So wait, have you just nat 20 twice in a row now?
Yeah, Al's dice.
God,
Al's dice is the opposite of my cursed dice.
So
I got
so
a shit
far,
ton in the post, and I let her pick a bag because I'm like, your dice are fucking cursed, please.
so they are cursed. Good Sir's like, okay, so the wage here is like hot garbage. Like, I work 4 hours and I work my ass off.
4 hours isn't long.
And like, I just realized what you said, Tom, and I hate you. I work my ass off and I get like nothing for it. So like, there's not even like hot guys around here. It's not fair. So I do make a little bit extra. There are a couple of rarer books around here that maybe aren't around here anymore, if you know what I'm saying.
Philippe's just gonna nod like, yes.
They're in my possession.
Like, he kind of like clicks, like Medi clicks around face who says, "I believe what Good Sir is trying to say is he steals books
From a library.
Okay, and now I understand. Wait, so you found this book in the library?
Yeah, I did. Like, it's... I kind of like he's brought it with him, I'll say, and he's turning it over his hand. He's like, "Never seen it before, and I work here. It's not actually one of the library's books. I was hanging around that room with the art, the painting in it. The one of the big wizard guy."
Oh, yes, I remember that painting. Sucked me into another world.
No, it didn't. The book did.
No, it didn't.
Oh, wait, no, it was a book.
A different... Yeah,
Whoops.
it's a library. It was a book. And he was like, and there's this guy there. It was a bit odd, and like, he was acting a bit strange. I thought he was trying to nick something, so I said, you know, I said like, "Hey man, are you gonna leave?" And he kind of went silent. And he ran real fast, and he dropped this.
And did you get a good look on this man?
Not exactly. He was an odd one. I think he's kind of like, I don't know how to
How stoned is
describe
Good
him.
Sir right now? I gotta know.
He's not.
Sounds very.
I'm just very tired. I'm struggling with words.
Aww.
I was like, I'm sorry. If you had a picture, I could maybe recognize him, but I don't want to describe it.
Okay. I guess if you don't know the man, then that's all I need to ask. There's nothing more for me to ask.
Why does it matter?
He might be my dad, who I've never ever met. Or he might know who my mum is, who I've never met, who might then give me indication on why my aunt is not really my aunt.
Maddie looks at you and is like, I love this story. Would you like me to help?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have your hand?
Philippe's gonna hand over his hand.
Did you just dunk it in the tank?
Yeah. He's gonna detach his hand and just...
Yeah. You pop a hand against the tank, and Maddie's like, thank you. Good sir, do you have paper here? And good sir, I just realized I'm playing good sir, and I have to respond to the question. And good sir is very much like, yeah, and he gets a bit of parchment and he lays it at the table. And I think Medi kind of positions himself closer to the table along with Philippe. And he says, Philippe, pull out your quill.
I pull out my quill.
Perfect. Medi's tendrils begin to move a little bit, and then two of them just shatter straight out of the tank.
Oh, it's gonna spill everywhere.
He psychically holds the liquid in there because he's a giant brain in the vat, so I'm just inside is as strong as God.
Can the tentacles go through the eyes? Like, now the eyes on like the hands and faces just like...
I thought you meant good sirs, and I was like, no!
I assumed that the tank had like a lid like a fishbowl. I'm surprised.
Me too. Like, I thought it would just go up and over, but sure.
They go straight through the eyes on the thing, and one of them wraps around your hand, and the other one wraps around Good Sir's body. And Good Sir struggles for it, saying, "Hey, I didn't," and then he just goes kind of limp.
Oh God, he's into it.
You can you can see he's still breathing, and Medi almost begins to glow a light purple color. And then you almost like begin to like not black out, but like it almost feels like you're dreaming for a minute. You're no longer in control of your own mind or your body.
Oh.
You and Medi's mind begin to meld together. Your body begins to move, and Medi is the one moving it. And you can feel him like touching in parts of your mind. Like he's very much touching on your artistic spirit. And as your hand moves, you draw. And as you draw each detail, it's not an exact drawing. Like, as Good Sir's saying, he did not get a good view of the guy he was running, but you get a couple of like very quick sketches out, and you can feel every time with each line, Good Sir's body kind of twitches a little bit. And after a minute or two, Medi's tendrils like retract. Good Sir is just unconscious. And as Medi retracts fully, he psychically lifts all the glass back into place and just mends it using the spell Mending, because he's got that now.
Cool.
You have a drawing. On the page, Medi has drawn a man, as well as a few other details. You recognize quite a few of them.
Does he have
Firstly, you recognize a golden quill.
Ooh.
Secondly, not on the man, but beside the man, you recognize a mask as well. A folded origami mask.
Uh-oh.
That you recognize as the one that Lenora's kidnapper wore. And then finally, you see the man who kidnapped your auntie in front of you without the mask. It's the man from the painting in Rasmodius' tower.
Oh my. I'm just processing this. I'm sorry, Al, Tom. I know.
It's okay.
This has been.
Don't worry.
No,
like, as well.
I'm just sat here reeling as well.
I thought it'd be my dad. Did my dad kidnap my aunt? I'm really confused.
Maybe, I guess.
Oh my god.
Was it the guy in the painting in Rasmodius's tower some kind of old general?
All you know about the person in that painting, the one that Phalark yeeted at y'all, the painting was old, and you guys recognize the signet ring with the mark of Tayvale on it. That's all you know about him.
That was
And in the sketch, does the person have, like, Dhampir kind of features?
You don't have any features to identify him like that. Dhampirs don't have really like any identifying features because they are just in essence like a vampire is just a mortal being turned like into an undead blood drinking thing. Like they're not bearing fangs and like sucking on someone's neck, if you know what I mean.
And it's one of those things where like I don't think there's much more Philippe can do by himself now, but
so I think that we can time skip a little bit then. You and Medi find yourself in the Spiral Inn, which is the inn you started in at the very top of the walls of Tayvale. And as you do, I think when you're walking up the spiral staircase, like very slowly, because Medi is struggling with the spiral stairs with his robot legs. God, why did I give you a brain on legs?
Because we were going to go to a pub quiz.
Yeah, of course. That's a good point. Good argument.
You see him levitate in the jar. That'd be better.
Yeah. As you reach the top of the stairs, there's a wall like with a notice board on the other side, and you see two of your "Have you seen Lenora" posters there. And as you kind of walk in, Shay is there, who is the halfling bartender who you guys talked to in the very first thing. Not Shaya, that's a different character to Shay. This is Shay Coulee.
Oh god.
She sees you, Philippe, and she's a little bit like, "Can I see ID there?"
Yes, and he'll pull out he's got that fake ID thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's seen this fake ID 100 times by now, and she knows who you are. She knows you're underage. She looks at it, she puts it back and says, "I haven't seen you in a while, Philippe. We got one of your posters hanging there. She'll show up, I'm sure she will."
Was she always Irish?
I don't
Oh no, but she is now.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Shay. I really appreciate it. I have found a potential lead as to who may have taken my aunt. I don't suppose you recognize this man at all, do you? And he'll just show her the poster. Well, show her the drawing.
She has a look at it and she says, "Never seen this gentleman in my life."
Oh, damn it.
No worries.
It's the mayor of Tayvale.
It's my dad!
Philippe will just sort of look down a bit sad. It's like, "Oh, okay. One honey water, please."
And for your friend there, and Medi walks up and says, "Also, one honey water, and I believe a pub quiz," and winks to camera.
Can't believe you're doing the quiz of ours.
Fuck it, if you guys want to show up for the quiz, you can. Actually, I think that's actually a really good shot. Like, obviously these sequences take place kind of like out of time. Mm-hmm. So I do think that like a really cute way of ending like Philippe's little scene is that like, Philippe in this moment of like a lead almost gone cold, but almost like entirely new piece of information. Like, there's a lot for that child to process, and I think like as you kind of sit down with your honey water and your robotic best friend and a lizard folk you've never really spoken to, like I feel like Philippe maybe feels just a little bit alone, like.
Oh.
And then just as that feeling kind of like hits, you see like just coming around the corner, Yagan Phalark just coming up the stairs.
My new family.
All right, lads. Team name. Come on. We've had like 2 weeks. What we got?
Medi and Friends.
I am all for that. Medi and Friends.
You know what? All right then. We'll go with it.
Thank you. If you didn't agree to my team name, I was going to crush you with my mind.
Hey, I helped to free you as well, mister.
Medi, you just need to calm down a little bit, okay?
Sorry.
Even in good chest.
I only crush thighs now.
That's a good start.
He's gonna like. I feel like we're gonna get to the final boss fight. You're gonna have this giant brain legs. He's gonna crush its minds.
That would be brilliant.
Half elves don't sleep.
No.
They go into meditative trance. What does Phalark meditate about when he rests?
Oh gosh, I hadn't considered this. I think he probably doesn't like. I think he doesn't necessarily think about anything in particular. It's very much a case of zoning out and just taking the quiet time.
Cool. I think that recently, like, your meditations have always become a little bit more like vivid. Now, we've talked a little bit. You've said that you want to kind of shift Phalark's magic a little bit more into a different kind of like style. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, what are you aiming at, kind of thing?
Well, when
Talk to the audience, Tom.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it, Janet. What happens? Well, when a sorcerer levels up, they become they're able to basically swap out any and all spells that they currently have, unless I'm horribly misunderstanding some part of the rules. And I just figured with the way that I've been using Phalark, some of the older spells were just never going to get used. So I've switched a lot of them around towards enchantment and a bit of illusion as well.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of felt like... I think maybe just in his day-to-day around the camp, he's tried to cast certain spells that he used to have access to. They are now off my character sheet, so I don't know what they were. But they've just not worked.
I really think that, like, you know, we get a lot of these shots kind of thing where you are very much like kind of flicking your wands and like nothing's happening, and we get like a couple scenes where like you are doing this like by yourself, like just a little bit out of the camp.
Yeah, it's changed the batteries, but just not doing it.
And I very much think that over the month or two that you've been in the camp, your magic feels different. Like, it is changing the way that the way that it feels inside of you. First of all, like, once upon a time, your magic felt very volatile. It felt rather than like... It wasn't something that like you controlled as much. We talked about this like a long time ago when we first created Phalark, but rather something that like kind of burst out of you when you felt you needed it.
Yeah.
It's not like you called upon it so much as it was a reaction. It almost starting to feel like your magic is alive. That like it is something you are more able to control, but like it is more a part of you. As you kind of shift in towards this like illusion magic, you start to realize it because the world around you is starting to seem different. You are tasting the air around you for the first time, and it tastes sweet, and you are seeing glimpses in places of colours that, first of all, they're not really there, but also colours that you have never imagined before.
Okay.
Phalark has become synesthetic.
Okay.
So he is able to see and taste certain sounds.
Oh. Okay, that's fun.
And they are wholly new colours and shapes, and occasionally these colours just kind of float across Phalark's eyes.
Alright.
And second of all, your meditations have had a bit of a... you're shifting towards this illusion magic has a bit of a strange effect on your meditations. Sometimes when you wake up, certain things linger around afterwards. Nearly always flowers. Quite recently, for example, you've woken up to be surrounded by rose bushes that instantly wilted, and then one other time in a circle of mushrooms.
Oh shit, of course.
That sunk into the ground shortly afterwards.
Right.
So, Phalark, what do you want to do with your little time off?
So I think he has like been incredibly. I mean, he's been concerned, right? Like I said, when he first got his magic, it was all very kind of volatile, and it was sort of quite jumpy. Jumpy. he doesn't quite like the idea that it could just spurt off, and that's a bad set of phrasing. It doesn't like the idea that something
make ejaculate without him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to just ejaculate a fireball when there are people around.
Why are you wanky when people are around, Taylor?
No, listen, I'm going to do this again. He doesn't like the idea that his magic could just go off when other people are around without him really being to do anything. So he's kind of been keeping to whatever his, I guess, lodging is in the caravan. I don't know if we have like bunks or what.
The three of you will probably share a small caravan with 4 bunks in it, 1 empty.
You know what? Actually, yeah, I think he's been like just walking into the nearby like woodlands and stuff, just probably finding somewhere quietish that's going to be like not going like massively far away, but probably like goes near a little brook or something that.
I think that I really like this idea. I think that one day you entered the woods. Like, one second, I'm just leaning over. I really like this idea. I think one day you kind of just sort of like, you needed some alone time. You were doing one of these magic practices in the nearby fields, and you could feel the people watching you, and you just decided, screw this, I need, shelter. I need to find a place where people can't see me.
Yeah.
So you wandered into the woods, and like, you just sort of wandered, like you meandered a path around. You didn't follow a path or anything like that, but eventually you found this really lovely little clearing. Like, there's a little like waterfall beside it, and a cave behind that waterfall, and a little babbling brook, and just these little like really like beautiful flowers. Occasionally you see a deer or two flicking around the area, and you really liked it there, and you kind of like centered out this spot as yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when like the first day you went there, you felt like really comfortable there, and you loved it so much. You were almost sad to leave it, and you wandered out, and you weren't sure you'd ever be able to find it again. As the month passed, you've gone to this point multiple times now. You've never been able to remember the path, but you always find yourself there.
Okay, that's nice. I like that.
Thank you. Dora gets daddy troubles. You get a nice little clearing.
Yay!
I'm bad. Forever Philipski war broken, and I'll Tonkin sea sound.
Phalark, what do you want to do today?
I guess he starts off just doing the normal, trying to cast basic cantrips to sort of. He's doing stuff like casting simple things like minor illusion and dancing lights, but it's just like even the spells that he does still know, I don't think they're quite coming out how he wants. So like he trying to cast dancing lights of a particular colour, and it's just doing the complete opposite. He tries to do an illusion of he tries to do an illusion of one thing, and it comes out slightly wrong. So like he does an illusion of a little mouse, but all of its legs are on backwards.
I hate this.
So just stuff that's just all coming out wrong, and it's like no use. So he just sits down and watches the river for a bit, I guess.
Okay.
And sees, I guess, tries to like tune in with whatever shapes and things are coming out from the sound of the river for him.
Phalark, you begin to focus on the shapes, and like it's like you keep trying to find patterns in these shapes, but nothing ever comes. Like you keep trying to think these shapes must mean something, they must be something, but like as far as you're aware, they aren't. And I think what happens is like in your frustration, Phalark kind of like it feels like you're about to make a breakthrough on one of these shapes. You're like, is it a person? You start to get this like sort of like idea that it might be person, and like I think there's almost a twinge in Phalark's memory as you do, and that's the bit that bugs you the most.
Mm-hmm.
Phalark obviously cannot remember a lot of his past. I don't know how much we've actually talked about Phalark's amnesia on the podcast, but there's a certain point in Phalark's life where he just woke up in the roads in the mountains to the east, and he can't remember anything beyond that day.
No.
You're seeing a shape in your vision, and you are so certain, like, you feel like it's very related to that event. You are convincing yourself that it's important.
Yeah.
And then it fades with no answer, and the thought of that just absolutely, like, just destroys Phalark in that moment. And he, like, throws his wand in frustration, and it clatters along, like, a bit of a rocky bed of the stream, and then it lands at the feet. Two beautiful feet, birdy feet, and when you look up, Euripides is there.
Oh yeah, that guy.
The one you told me you wanted to speak
I know,
to.
we've barely I've barely spoken to him already. I think it's just kind of awkward for a second, because like the last thing that that Euripides actually said was like, you know, if you need me, I'll be there, or something to that effect. And I've nearly died. Phalark's nearly died like 3 times since, and either Euripides hasn't come or he just hasn't picked up the phone properly.
Yeah.
So I think Phalark's just kind of like, you know, when you get to our sort of age, you mean to stay in contact with people, but it just kind of, you know, it fades away. And what I think's good about the kind of friendship I think we've got at this point is that we don't need to keep in touch that often, and we can just see each other whenever, and it's fine, you know. Just pick up like we saw each other yesterday, you know. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at staying in touch.
I think Euripides sort of like chuckles.
I feel attacked.
And Euripides like, you. Oh wow!
I think we all feel attacked. That was
Euripides begins to like sort of like strut back and forth along the riverbed, like, and there he just kind of look at you and says, "Phalark, I came when you called."
Did I call? I didn't mean to call. I definitely meant to call. It's great to see you. Still,
you're having trouble, Phalark, aren't you?
I just can't quite get my hair to part the way it used to, you know. It's when there's just every day there's more flowers and they just don't settle the way they used
to. You're interrupted as you kind of like, you're rambling there, and like as you talk, this waft of like this breeze like flitters in, and like a bunch of like petals from nearby flowers lift up and they kind of like run along Euripides, and as they run along him, like they leave like almost like gashes along his body. Like they literally like cut him away. There's nothing there. It's like bits of him were deleted. And Euripides looks at you and goes, "Phalark, if we're not going to talk, I will disappear."
Okay.
Cut the crap.
All right, I wasn't you know, when somebody that you don't expect to swear starts talking like that, you know, to shut up and listen. So, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. I'm having some trouble with my magics.
What troubles, Phalark? Why? What's bothering you?
It's gonna sound weird, but it kind of tastes different almost. You know, there's a different. it's like it's a different flavor all of a sudden.
You have no idea what's happening, Phalark, and I want to help you.
Oh, please do.
There's
I'm all ears,
so much that we could talk about, Phalark, but you have to trust the flavor. I'm Guy Fieri.
That's all well and good to say, but it's kind of hard to trust something as, well, as, I guess, unknowable as magic.
Magic is not unknown, Phalark. We know everything about magic. We know where it comes from. We know what it is. We know what it should taste like, Phalark.
I missed that class, I'm sorry. I never went to school.
Your magic tastes wrong, Phalark, but it also tastes very right. This is so dirty.
No, I get it. It's like when you put something weird in chocolate, but it still works, you know?
I think Euripides is very much kind of like looking at you, Phalark, and just like, you have time, Phalark. You need to talk to me. What do you want to know?
Okay, listen. Do you know anything about why I can do the things that I can do?
Yes.
Yeah, last time we met, didn't get much chance to speak. Fair enough. It was all a bit of a surprise. Everything was very fast-paced. But I had just learned to fly a few seconds beforehand, and that does do a little... It's probably cut a couple of years off my lifespan. I do get the odd palpitation.
Can peacocks fly?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yes, and it's terrifying. I have been courted by many peacocks in my time, and they have come straight for me.
Fucking brag about it.
I used to...
So we've learned two very dark things. Dora's been courted by peacocks. Al really wants to be courted by peacocks. I mean, yeah, it's... I don't know about you, if you were a bit spooked when you first learned to fly, but at least you have appendages specifically designed for the fact. I just kind of did it out of nowhere, and whilst I'm incredibly impressed with myself, it's still very weird.
I understand that, Phalark. Yes, I know where your magic comes from, Phalark.
You're gonna impart that little bit of wisdom.
He is silent.
You're not gonna impart that little bit of wisdom. Alright, I get it. No, actually, I don't get it. Why are you not speaking? You just told me to...
I'm protecting you, Phalark.
Okay, fine. I'll let it slide, but only because you did actually protect me from that dog. That was pretty sound. I would like to say thank you. I don't know. Do you eat seeds? Or what? I don't know.
You do not need to thank me, Phalark. I was made to protect you.
By who?
He's silent again. I think he kind of stops strutting at the river, and he kind of like looks at you and says, Phalark, you are hunted and protected. You have friends and foes from where you come from.
And where might that be? Because that in particular is a very interesting turn of phrase there. Because I thought I came from, like, you know, here.
You can't go back there, Phalark.
Where?
It's better you don't know. You can't go back.
I feel like it's very much a case of I would like to know, though, anyway.
You are a traitor to them, Phalark.
Oh. But I didn't... Who are them?
I don't know how much of this shit where I say I can't tell you. I'm
sorry, I don't know what else to ask.
No, he's like... He like... Euripides is very much kind of like... frustrated. Like, you can kind of see with the way that his beak moves that you know he wants to tell you these things. He physically cannot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Pearl.
You can't... There's something stopping you from telling me this stuff, isn't there?
He nods. He kind of looks and goes like, I am not one of them, and neither is the creature that you met in the woods that day. The two of us are very alike.
But playing for different teams, I imagine.
He nods. We are mortal beings, touched by that place.
If you're mortal, does that mean... Are you in any sort of danger from helping me?
Yes, but it's what I was made to do.
I see. I really don't want that on my conscience. I've got to be honest. Is there anything that I'm not like? I'm very much one of those you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of fellas, and you have already saved my life once. Is you sure there's nothing I can do?
Don't trust anyone, Phalark.
Anyone? I mean, I've got to be honest. Like I like a bit of quiet time, but the fellas back at the caravan are pretty sound.
Don't trust anyone, Phalark.
All right. Okay. And I assume that doesn't extend to you. I'm assuming you're all hunky dory.
I think he kind of looks at you and says...
You seem nice.
We agreed he has, like, pink circular glasses, didn't we?
I told you that was a fact. He also has a scarf. Sometimes he smokes a little cigarette in a little cigarette holder.
He kind of looks at you, Phalark, and says, how do you know that the dog wasn't protecting you and I'm here to hurt you? Don't trust anyone, Phalark. You know nothing of the world you live in. There is so much more than you could possibly imagine. This is only just beginning, Phalark.
I feel like this is going to unearth all kinds of psychological difficulties for me now. I thought I'd fallen in with a nice bunch.
I think that Earpiece kind of flicks the glasses back up, takes a puff of the cigarette, and he says, at this point all I know is rumours, Phalark. But again, I can't talk about them.
What am I supposed to do then? The people that are sending you to protect me must have something in mind, some reason why they're keeping me alive. Or some reason why they're having me do that.
I didn't say people, Phalark. I was sent by person.
Oh, alright.
People hunt you, Phalark. Person protect.
Well, you know what? Tell person thanks. I'm going to call them Percy for now.
Euripides kind of bows and is like, walk your path, Phalark. These things, they are unstoppable. Just hope that when our paths cross again, we can talk more. Call me for help. I kick real good.
You do kick real good. I have seen that. I can attest to that fact. So just, I've got that whole Phantom Steed thing. Just whenever.
Don't call me a steed, dude. That's not okay.
Sorry, it's the name of the spell. What would you prefer?
Just, like, call Euripides. I'm your friend, man.
All right, cool. That's fine. I'll just change it on my little sheet. I do write these all down because it is.
I mean, does this make Euripides a
man?
mount?
Oh yeah, Phalark can ride Euripides.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
More.
But he just doesn't. We had a whole problem with him. Like, I gave him numerous opportunities to ask how he travelled in the last arc. He was always like, I found a fucking horse. I found a camel. I'm like, you have a conjurable magic peacock you could be riding.
Look, okay, look, I'm sorry I've not called you yet, Euripides, but to be honest, I didn't know how keen you were with being out in the opening, considering that you've just told me to keep everything a secret and not to trust anybody. Do I just whip my astral peacock out around my pals or what?
The sentence "whip my astral peacock" is great. It's got whip and cock. I think that Euripides kind of like just says, I am protecting you, Phalark. It is, and he can't say any more, I'm afraid.
I've got no way of finding out the person that sends you to me. No?
I cannot tell you that. I can say things, Phalark, but the more you know, the more danger you are in.
I mean, we did just survive against a fucking necromantic lizard bastard. Did pretty well there. That felt pretty world ending, and we did fine. So it's not always so bad to trust people, you know. The kid and the old lady, they're pretty fabulous, honestly. Do all kinds of good spells. Did you see that old person?
Old person with the hold person.
Yes.
Euripides is like, trust no one, Phalark. You can't even trust yourself.
I've tried to lie to myself before, and it's never really worked, you know. I've said to myself, these genes definitely work on... Nah, they don't, Phalark. It doesn't work. You can't pull off pink denim.
Oh.
No one can.
I think Euripides laughs at that one, and Euripides, like...
Oh, good,
begins to, like, open his beak to speak again. And there is like a wind blowing again, and at first you think it's one of your other like sensory tricks. You can smell something on the wind, but Euripides like kind of flicks across, and like they stare into the woods for a second, and you then figure out what that smell is. It's very much the scent of dog.
I think I'm allergic.
Euripides looks at you and goes, "I have to leave, Phalark.
Me too.
The Queen has found us."
Wait, sorry.
And then just vanishes.
I missed that. What was that? Who found us?
The Queen.
The Queen.
Oh shit! Liz is here.
Is there anything else you want to do, Phalark?
Run.
I guess like when is Euripides just like vanishing at that point?
Yes.
Right. I guess he's just calling out. Wait, does that mean everybody else is in danger too?
Euripides is already gone.
Yeah. So he just legs it to the caravan.
The wind blows from behind you this entire way. No matter what direction you run, the wind is always behind you and always has this scent. And as you run through the woods, like it almost feels like the path you've walked before has always been clear. You've always been able to find this like perfect path through the woods. But this time, like you're running through brambles and you're cutting your legs like on like jagged sticks, and
can I still smell
like
dog?
Running across rough stones.
As I'm running,
you can smell it the entire way through the woods.
Can I
and
see
then suddenly,
it? Like
you don't see anything behind you when you look across.
Like, but does the smell Is the smell like
look
like anything with my synesthesia nonsense?
Absolutely, it does. You like, I think as you're running, occasionally, like you look behind you to look for like real dogs, but you never see them. But like, it's almost like the scent takes the shape as you're running.
Right.
So like, occasionally you see one running alongside you, like a hound, not like Dan, but like rather like a feral hound on all fours, like chasing after you.
Oh, I forgot that Dan was on two legs.
Oh, that's worse.
And you sprint, and you always feel like they're right on your heels, biting at you, and then suddenly you like burst out of the tree line, and as you do, Theb is standing there holding like a pile of logs that she's obviously just been chopping in like a nearby area, and like as you burst out the woods, like scratched and torn, like Phalark takes good care of his image, like we all know that, and like to see you like a little bit disheveled, like Theb like is smoking on a pipe and kind of like looks at you, like, Phalark, are you all right?
Where is everyone?
What do you mean everyone? Is something wrong?
He's gonna kind of just like, he's just gonna sort of take the second to catch his breath, and as he is doing so, just double take to see if he can still see, smell, hear anything. And like you double take to the woods, and I think like Theb instinctively just follows your eyes, and then like you see it and smell it again, like this wind blowing. It doesn't seem to like, rather than coming out of the woods, it's like floating along the side of the wood, and you kind of like follow it with your eyes until you realize Theb is also following this invisible shape that only you can see with her eyes. Can you see?
And then she looks at you and goes, "What have you done, Phalark?"
Genuinely didn't do shit. Promise. Cross my heart.
Holy shit. She looks at you and goes, "I don't like you, Phalark, but I believe you. What is it?"
I thought I saw something. Or at least I definitely smelled something. Why have you made my whole fucking new thing revolve around smell as soon as I actually gain a sense of smell? Weird fucking
Tom gets his nose back and he can smell his characters. That's hilarious. I think Theb grabs you and says, "Cut the bullshit, Phalark. We both know what that is."
I genuinely don't. Like, okay, you want me to be honest? I'll be dead bloody honest. Sometimes I see a bird and he tells me things and he says he's here to look after me, and dogs are bad. I really don't like dogs at the moment, and I thought I saw a dog and I ran out of there. That's basically what happened.
Phalark, those aren't dogs. That's Grania.
Should I know who that is? Honestly, I've got no clue.
Just, okay, could you give me like a persuasion roll with advantage, because technically like you are not lying.
I'm not lying in the slightest.
I know.
Persuasion. Where's that? Ah, there it is. It's +7. So it's a 24.
Theb looks at you like aghast, and like I think like the pipe in her mouth just sort of drops out and says like, "You really don't know what's going on."
I've been trying to tell you.
Shit. I can smell it on you, Phalark. I see it on you every fucking day I look at you.
I use prestidigitation.
You're a fairy, Phalark.
Wait, what? I was trying to make a spry comment, and it really kind of messed up the flow there. I'm really sorry.
You just like both cut into each other, and it was terrible.
You are a fairy, Phalark.
No. He kind of just like puts a finger track behind each ear and kind of like flicks them a little bit, like half elf. I don't remember going to school or anything, but I'm pretty sure I got basic biology nailed.
Wait, why don't you remember going to school, Phalark? I remember going to school.
Oh, you know what? In all of the force, I kind of. Okay. I don't remember anything before I was about.
So what you're saying is, if you don't remember anything, do you remember your parents, Phalark?
Bit of a sore spot, but no.
Okay, then how do you know you're a half-elf?
Does the ear thing again.
Yeah, because you know Philippe has pointed ears too.
Ah, but it's very
Philippe's
different.
not an elf.
Look, I don't want to be rude, a little bit insensitive. Very, very different ears. Not just because you've got pointy ears doesn't mean you might be one race to the other. It's we're all very specific.
That's your argument, Phalark. I'm saying that.
Flustered.
I don't know what to deal with this.
I woke up, middle of buttfuck nowhere. Some people found me. They looked after me. They always told me I was a half-elf.
Where were you found, Phalark?
Somewhere out in the east. In the, it kind of like fades back in from there.
The east?
Yeah, he just sort of waves his arm around in the general direction of west.
Phalark, I know fairies when I see them. Your fucking kind ruined my life. And I'm not okay with it. You want to know the reason why I fucking hate you, Phalark? Because when I look at you, She very much clams up. Like, you see the anger in her boil over, but she does not want to say the thing that she was ready to say then.
Alright, look, I know this is totally like not what you want to hear right now, Feb, but if it wasn't clear for the fact that I don't remember shit, and still kind of think, still know I'm kind of maybe a half-elf actually, whatever issue you've got with fairies, that wasn't me.
I know that, Phalark, but I'm not going to forgive any of them.
It's fine, but all I do is stand here and look pretty. I didn't do... Do we need to talk about this, or is this kind of like a let lie thing?
This is definitely a let lie thing, Phalark. You don't even know what you're touching upon here. And I think Theb bends over to pick their pipe up, and like she nods towards the woods and says, "You know that's where our wards end, right?
Okay.
And that's why those wolves can chase you any further."
Oh, I'm grounded, aren't I?
Don't walk out the wards, Phalark.
I'm grounded.
I kind of want to go back to where I first met Orthrus, with Orthrus. Because Orthrus burned down that tree that, although I'm like ambivalent about symbols, it meant something to her. And now I have a weapon that can heal trees. I just want...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. What?
It was part of my mana ore upgrade.
Oh,
I can fix plants.
dope.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Do you take anyone else from the caravan with you?
See, I'll maybe take Lou. This is a plant adventure.
Yeah, it's a plant adventure, and Lou loves plants.
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't like Orthrus's reaction when we got back to the caravan proper, because I think it was to Harper. So now I'm like really sus.
Now, this is a couple of like weeks into the
The break.
you guys getting back, and I think that Orthrus has definitely calmed down a little bit. Like, you know, how protective over Orthrus have you been since you guys, like, you moved Orthrus into the caravan? I guess.
Well, I guess all in all, I just want Orthrus to get along with the others, like try to encourage them to act like a normal child would. I mean, for all I know, what a normal child would do.
Philippe's not the best person to base it off.
I just want them to, like I'm not trying to coddle them. You know what I mean?
Cool. I think for the first couple of days, Orthrus pretty much never leaves your side. They are a little bit, like, as we talked about last time, a little bit nervous for some reason. Mm-hmm. But it sort of begins to drift away over the days. And eventually they are able to kind of, like, go do things. Like, I think, especially because they have, like, a lot of, like, abilities with fire and abilities with nature, both Lou and Iskar, both, like, utilize Orthrus quite well in their roles. Like, I think definitely, like, Orthrus enjoys helping tend to the forge a little bit. They like the pretty sparks and they like the loud noises. Like, they're not like a quiet kid.
They've always had a little affinity for fire.
Yeah. And as you begin to relax, like, Orthrus begins to, like, meld quite well into the camp. After a couple of days, like, they do seem to, like, also take to everyone. Like, there are communal meal times where all the crew eat, and yeah, Orthrus is chatting to everyone there. It's not like they clam up anymore. A few weeks in, you take Lou, and the three of you kind of travel northwards, and, like, Lou is just like one of the people with a carriage, and she has some, like, a trip to go north, and I think Lou very much kind of says, so as you're trundling north, I think Lou kind of goes, so what's this all about then?
Well, I just wanted to go back to the old homestead and see what I could do about an accident that happened.
Absolutely. What kind of accident are we talking about, dearie?
Lou, there was a fire, and I'd honestly like to not get too much into it because it's water under the bridge. Things have changed now.
Yeah, I definitely think when you mentioned the fire, Orthrus kind of like clams up a little bit, and then we were like, I don't want to talk about it. It's water under the bridge. They pick up again.
I like dart a little wry smile in their direction. Like, don't worry, kid, I'm not a grass.
I think, I think like even though you do, like they're still like, sorry. I think you travel north for a few days, and as you do, first of all, obviously like you are from the northern areas. You're from Daleen-ish area. Mm-hmm. You're from Daleen adjacent, is what we're going with.
The word's outside Daleen.
Yeah. The first step towards traveling to Daleen is going through the Haglands, which is the marshy area where we first met Phalark. But to get to there, you actually have to go through a large gate, a large wall. As you do, that road is a lot busier than you've ever seen it before, mostly because of slow-moving traffic. You join the queue, and after like maybe like 2-3 hours, you get through. Customs have really kind of like gone up in the area, and they're very much checking you all as you pass through. And as you have no reason to really hide here. Yaga's crimes are all really kind of like kept low under. But as you get through, you see what it is they're looking for. There's a wanted poster on the wall for a Phalark.
Oh, jeez.
This.
It's a reward of 100,000 gold pieces for Phalark's head.
Oh, shit, son. Can I take one of the wanted posters?
I think that you kind of like say to one of the guards
like
that you'd
flyer.
like one, and they have copies for you, and they say, "Do you know something, madame?"
Oh, no, you know me. Oh, I've got a terrible vision and my memory's not what it used to be, son. But I do travel with a lot of people and they might have seen something.
He got a nat one. His his insight check on that. He's like,
hey, I don't dare roll for that. That was flawless.
It was flawless. He's very much like, of course, lady. Is there anything we can do to make your journey through Daleen more comfortable?
Oh, no, you're doing the best you can already. Have a lovely day.
And she's like, oh, you too, lady.
And we trundle past and my face just turns to disgust. Just as soon as I'm out of eye shot.
Yeah, Lou is trying her hardest not to fucking piss herself. And Orthrus is very much like after things like, why did you lie? We know this man, that's Phalark.
Oh, God.
Oh, but if we told him that, then there was a good chance a lot of harm would come to Phalark. And we don't want that.
Oh, we would get 100,000 gold.
Do you have what do you need 100,000 gold for, Wayne?
Finn sells nice candy.
Okay. Well, not anymore. I bought it all.
He restocks. It takes a few days, but you do eventually trundle north to your original glade. The glade that you kind of like... you grew up here, you trained here, and apparently 100,000 past lives of yours trained and lived here too.
Yeah.
One for every gold
Do you think
piece.
it feels different for Yaga when she kind of steps into this area for the first time after all that?
I feel like it's not necessarily something she sees, but she can get a sense of thousands of lives passed ahead of hers. She feels the presence of other beings from long before.
And I think Orthrus kind of looks and says, it's been a long time since I've been here. I mean, no, I woke up here. But, I mean, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah,
How long was I asleep, Yaga?
I don't remember if I was given dates.
We've been very lax on the dates. There was, in essence, when we talk about the old war time of the Isle of Suchau, in essence, that war was hundreds of years ago.
That's what I thought. So
We'll say at least 300 years.
Well, Orthrus, I can't give you accurate time, but based on the number of past lives hidden in my memory, a good few centuries at least.
I think Orthrus doesn't really know how to process that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just silent about it, and they're like, what am I?
I really wish I knew.
The child has an existential crisis.
I mean, same bitch.
All the children are having existential crisis in this campaign.
Yeah. fucking Philippe, Orpheus, Phalark, all the children having crises.
Yaga, protect us!
Listen, I can only equip you with tools to get you through life. What you do with your stupid mind hole is up to you.
And I think as like you are in this clearing, I think like Lou is very much kind of like brushing herself off and like kind of like stretching out for like a little bit of a break. And you see your old shack, like your old rundown shack, and you get a glimpse of in the vision that you had back in the Necromancers when you first realized that there was like Yagas before you. You saw this hut like the day it was built, and like the nice little cottage that it used to be. And I think Lou is very much like kind of like poking around it a little bit, not going in for respect, but like just kind of like on like the decking outside kind of thing, like looking around and says, I could really fix this place up. If you wanted me to, of course, Yaga.
Well, I mean, that would be nice, but who spends time here anymore? We're all the three of us are off with a caravan.
Oh no. Maybe once this whole sanctum thing is over, we'll all get normal lives again.
Well, it would be nice to all come back together and have a look at it.
I think Lou's very much like, yeah, I'd like that. I always like, I like to work with my hands. Keeps me busy. And then, like, she's like, I'm just gonna have a look around. Why don't you go off and do whatever it is that you need to do about that tree?
Feel free to have a nosy inside if you like.
I will. And she kind of like just begins like, look, you can tell that she's very much like eyeing it up for like a grand repair kind of thing, as she does. And she leaves you to it.
I'm going to offer Orthrus to take my hand, if they like.
They do.
And we're going to
I think they're very much used to it by now.
Yeah, and we're just going to walk over to where the tree was. We just look.
You head to that tree, and like, it's still there, but it is still scorched. And like, just like you remember, it was burned from the inside out and blackened, and like, there's still like, the fire never spread outwards. It very much stopped at this tree. You very much stopped it from spreading outwards, but the tree... It used to be this giant, beautiful thing, and now it is this smouldering ruin of what it used to be. Cracked limbs like lie around the ground around it as it's collapsed under the pressure.
Do you remember anything about the tree? What it felt like?
I think Orthrus looks and says, "No, it was like being asleep. A long time."
Did you dream of anything?
I remembered what I did. I could hear him. He could speak to me. And I think Orthrus kind of like reaches into their pockets and they pull out a shard of the Black Soulstone.
Oh.
And they're like, I had this while I was in the tree, Yaga. They spoke to me for years and they told me what I did. And they told me what to do when I got out. I'm sorry, Yaga, I didn't mean it.
You didn't know
They told me it was a game.
You didn't know any better.
I think I know better now. And I think what they do is they take the shard of the Soulstone and they go towards the tree and they place it in a hole in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, if we fix the tree now with that in there, he's gone for good.
Well, let's fix this tree then.
And what do you do?
Well, let me get my document up to get the details right. Nope, weapon's not in there. Wow, well done. Where did I put it? I lost my information.
I don't need the exact rules of it. Very much it was when you hit it,
like,
you'll heal plants.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not really feeling the whole going up to the branches and slashing them or anything, but just kind of like tapping the very edges and the very tip of my sickle to the cracked, burnt, damaged areas, and maybe like a little bit of conjuration from underneath to like encourage plant life to grow at the base again.
Yeah, I think obviously like, this is also the first time you've really used this sickle since you got it
Yeah.
like, upgraded. When you do you think when Yaga got this upgraded, she had this in mind?
Yeah. Totally, because
I think.
Yeah.
I very much think there's like a little bit like the very first time you tap it to the tree, like you're very much having a moment of
This
doubt.
might work.
Yeah, you've almost got this like little bit of doubt, like just like nagging away inside of you, like this isn't going to work. Like it's gone for good, and then there's nothing at first, and you lift the sickle away, and among the black, where your sickle is touching, there's just this smallest like little circle of like brown healthy oak amidst the flames, amidst the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you kind of like spring into action, and Yaga moves fast. Like Yaga hobbles when she wants to, and then moves like fast when she wants to.
Hell yeah.
And she takes to it. And I think Orthrus like can't do much, but they do have magic in them, and occasionally they're placing their hands on the tree and helping you with that conjuration, and it becomes almost like a dance where you're wrapping your sickle around the tree and creating these like slashes of healthy wood, and Orthrus is like spreading those cracks outwards to fight the damage. It takes a few hours to get the tree the way you want it to, and it's not as healthy as it once was, but it's there and it's living, and you can tell it, you can feel it being alive again. It's not sprouting. It will take a few years maybe to like really get back to the way it was, but you know that it's going to.
Nice.
Yay.
And I think Orthrus kind of says like, we did good.
We've done the hard
This was a fun game. And I think we kind of end on like, it's a little too late to kind of it's a little too late to maybe start traveling back. So you just kind of agree that you're going to set up camp, and Orthrus, and you've been camping along the way or stopping in every now and again, but Lou and Orthrus set out like a couple bedrolls in front of the shack, because it's always been like a 1-bedroom shack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you kind of get a flash when you see them there, like both of them, to the days where you used to do the exact same, where you used to like, your master Yaga would go into her shack,
and I'd have to sleep under the stars.
Yeah, and they're both laying out, and I think as you look up, there's a little bit of comfort in seeing that the stars are still there, the way they used to be when you were in this position before.